Each year, Microsoft Research hosts hundreds of influential speakers from around the world, including leading scientists, renowned experts in technology, book authors, and leading academics, and makes videos of these lectures freely available.
Today we have Christos Papadimitriou, who will be giving an informal talk on optimal auctions. And Christos, these are your true fans in Northwest.
Some of them, yes. Okay. That's funny. All right. So, okay. So, you've asked me to, if I would want to give a talk, and I thought that maybe I should tell you about something that I'm working with a student. His student's name is George Pierakos. And it's about optimal auctions. It's an ancient problem. It's a problem that was sort of a famous problem when I was in grad school in the late 70s, and then in 1981 Roger Myerson solved it, and he got the Nobel Prize 30 years later. And so, is there something else to say? So we'll find out. Okay, so the problem is the following. It's very simple. You have an auctioneer has an item, let's say a painting, and there are several people who are interested in the painting, and he wants to conduct an auction. Okay, so the assumption is that that the auctioneer has a prior about. So the assumption is the following: first of all, that every individual, every player bidder has in their mind a particular number. Okay, a particular dollar value for the object. Number one. Okay. Number two is that these numbers are drawn from a distribution. Okay, so basically there's a distribution, and Myerson assumes that they come from independent distributions. Okay, so in other words that there are every bidder has one particular distribution of. And there are some assumptions about the distributions. I'm going to assume that there are. So let me see. So Myerson assumes that all distributions are always positive, and as you are going to see, I'm going to assume also that, and I'm going to also for other reasons going to assume that the ellipse is continuous, but let me not jump ahead. So, this is the problem then. You have these distributions, and how do you design an auction? That's how his paper was called, Optimal Auction Design. How do you design an auction that, in expectation, maximizes the auctioneer's?
I'm still confused. So every bidder has their own distribution.
Yes.
And there's this painting, say,
right
in front of them,
right,
and they value that painting according to this distribution.
No. They value this. Every bidder values this painting with one single monetary value, but the auctioneer does not know this value. Okay. All he knows is the distribution.
He knows distribution. Oh, okay.
That's his model of the world.
His model. So n people come in
and for each one of them I know a distribution. There are different distributions. Okay.
But they're not influenced by each other.
You can actually, in Myerson's original paper, there is he has a way to incorporate in his model several things, including influences. So and also suppose that I value also the painting a little. Okay, so how should this? I don't have to give it away. So if they offer me $1 for it, this, or I'll keep it. I mean, also.
So Kamal has a distribution, right?
Yeah.
So if you poke him, he comes out with a number X, say.
But the point is that Kamal who lie through his teeth to get the painting cheap, okay?
Yeah, sure, I know that.
Yeah. So
But so I was wondering, but the painting, does the painting determine the value that Kamal will value it at, or does it just determine the probability of value it at a certain, I don't know. So I don't see, you've got the painting which is fixed, right? It's not random.
the painting is fixed,
Yeah.
okay?
And Kamal has a distribution. So how do they interact?
They don't interact, okay?
He has the value, and Christos has a distribution on what Kamal's value is.
Oh, okay. For that painting.
Yeah.
Yes, for that painting. So there is only one painting in the world, okay?
Okay.
And everybody has
So
it.
it's not, basically the auction is not sure about how Kamal values the painting. He just has some distribution in mind.
He does not have a distribution. I have a distribution in mind about Kamal.
Yeah.
Kamal has a number.
Yeah. So you're just trying to sort of do it to maximize what your expectation.
My expectation, what I'm going to get.
Yeah.
Okay. So basically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to design an auction, which means I'm going to design a protocol, which without loss of generality means that everybody will give me a number, and then I will have published an algorithm that says what's going to happen after that. The algorithm will be deterministic. So let me tell you what. I want to be something that is called ex post individual rational, which means the following: that this is ruling out auctions protocols of the following kind. Okay, so I'm telling Kamal, you'll pay me. I'm offering you the following offer. Okay, leave it or take offer. You give me $1,000, and then I flip a coin. And if it comes heads, you get the painting. Otherwise, I keep the painting or something like that. Okay, so this is not ex post individual rational because a lot of people will come out of this auction saying, I should have stayed home. Okay, so I don't want this to happen. Okay, I want everybody to come back home and say, all right, that's good. In other words, either I paid nothing but I got nothing, or I paid something, but I got something that was even more worth to me.
But I think my answer allowed the probabilistic thing that he can toss a coin and then decide whether they take $1,000 from me or not, and then assign.
Right. Yeah. So but even that I'm not allowing. So Meyerson allows it. Okay, but sort of I'm not allowing. So and Meyerson's theorem is that the solution is deterministic. Okay. Okay, good. And I wanted to be truthful. And how many of you are not familiar with what this means? Okay. So truthful means okay, cool. No. So let's talk about that. Truthful means the following: that when at some point I ask you, how much do you value the painting, okay? Each one of you are going to, being very rational, very mathematically inclined, and very selfish, are going to think through it. I could tell the truth. I could tell a number which is too high. I could tell a number which is too low. Let's see what is the optimum, and then you'd realize that the best thing to do is tell the truth. Okay, there is absolutely no advantage for you to lie, because the algorithm is such. Okay, so I want the algorithm to be such that. Now, this may sound a little. Why do economists always assume truthfulness? Okay, there are two reasons. One is, there are, the real reasons, the cynical reasons are two. One is that it's very difficult to do any mathematics in its absence. Okay, so because if you have to say, if you have to speculate about how people are going to think, how people are going to lie, then there is no end to it. Okay, so I'm not saying that there could not be an interesting mathematical theory there. Okay, so but it's we don't know how to do it. The number two reason is that it essentially comes from free. you might as well, without loss of generality, assume that it is truthful. Okay, and let me. So a lot of people say, okay, you can't solve that, but what if you remove this truthfulness assumption? Could you do a little better? Could there be a few better? And the answer is no. Okay, that there can be no. And let me give you sort of, there is a sort of a folk theorem that says that that's impossible. Let me just prove it to you. So what's the proof? It's very simple. Imagine that you had a protocol, an auction, that was not truthful. Okay, so people sort of could skim it, sort of could look at the auction, look at everybody else, and come up with a lie. Okay, which is the best. Okay, so these are the bidders here. And they could possibly lie to the auctioneer. So now I'm modifying this. I'm saying, listen, instead of lying, why don't you let a professional lie for you? So basically, I'm going to create a professional liar, L1 for liar, lawyer, whatever. So that who sort of and basically what you do is you tell him the truth, and he's going to lie for you. He's going to represent your interests perfectly, impeccably. Is this clear? So you tell the truth, and similarly for everybody, that there is a liar who is going to represent them. And now the point is that this thing here is a new auction which is truthful. Make sense? Yeah.
Provided such liars exist.
Provided, right? Yeah. So right. Yeah. No, so if you assume, that lying is not, that optimal lying is not something which is fuzzy and entangled in emotion and so on. I mean, yeah. Sorry.
Like B1 trust L1, but
trust exactly.
might not trust auction prime.
But yeah, precisely. May not actually trust auction prime. No. It should trust auction prime because auction prime is basically the same as auction unprimed with the trusted liar.
So the mechanism is verifiable. Let's say they can look and see what auction prime is. And he can say, oh,
yeah. The mechanism is completely transparent. Yeah. So in other words, or if you don't, or alternatively, there is a very detailed contract that says what's going to happen. So you know that sort of either you'll be treated fairly, or you are a rich man, you'll go to the courts. Okay, so.
So that's assuming that these lawyers exist.
So this, so I'm assuming it, but these lawyers essentially are nothing else but each individual bidder's sort of, best shot at manipulating this auction. So no matter what is the, okay. So this is an ancient result. It's called the revelation principle, and basically it says, let's assume truthfulness. Okay, so and there is going to be a way to, so without loss of generality, you can assume that the mechanism is truthful.
Just one question in this generality. Suppose we have some possibility of a repeated auction on the same kind of.
All bets are off. All bets are off. Important, very important, and overlooked open problem. Yes, yeah. So basically, what Yuval is saying is the following. Okay. This revelation principle assumes that you can sort of, tell, okay, in other words, empty your soul to a lawyer, okay? The point is, if this is a repeated auction, okay, and not only that, but it's a repeated auction, sort of, that every day it's a new auction, and every day, of course, yesterday you won the auction and you looked at the painting, sort of, yesterday's painting, and maybe you have decided you have updated your, And then also you open the Wall Street Journal and you saw how the market is going, and maybe you have new. So if there are dynamic aspects, okay, then this picture, it's still true, but it's computationally suspect because this means exponential communication. Okay, so it could be that sort of polynomial auctions, sort of there can be, that optimal polynomial auctions are not truthful. That's a possibility that has been overlooked, has not been looked at. Okay, but we are back in the world sort of where there is one item, one time, okay, and so on. All right. So let me tell you what this says. This says the following: that basically, so already this severely restrict. Let's look at the following. Let me summarize first the result of Meyerson. Meyerson's result is a beautiful design for auctions. It basically says the following. Every bidder looks at his distribution, and what he does is he does a very complicated sort of calculation, sort of mathematical kind of calculation with integrals and so on, and quite complicated, quite sophisticated calculation. And out of that comes something which is called the ironed virtual valuation. It's a number. And now this bidder, this number basically is this bidder's, and basically what is going to happen, he's going to submit this number, not the true number, not the thing he has in his mind, and it's sort of a very surprising result. And then the auctioneer will give to the one that has highest number there, and will charge him the second higher. So you are going to have VCG auction with these ironed virtual valuations. Okay. So
everybody knows all the distributions.
Everybody knows all the distributions. Yes, right. Yeah. So that's the result of Meyerson. What I'm going to tell you is what I'm working on is the case where you don't have independent distributions. Okay. So and in fact, without loss of generality, let's suppose that the valuations are between 0 and 1. Okay, so you are playing. So you have a distribution P of xy in the unit square. Okay, and I'm going to assume that this is positive, and for the longer, Meyerson assumes in his paper that it's positive, and for the longest time I said this is such a silly assumption. Okay, why do you need this? I mean, and sort of I ignored it, and then sort of several weeks later, trying to write my proof, I adopted this assumption. Okay, so it's very, and also lambda Lipschitz continuous. Because if you think about it, sort of if you have a continuous distribution, and you are going to, in the end of it, you are interested in sort of in analyzing it by an algorithm. You don't want it to be sort of to have arbitrary spikes because sort of you don't want to, no matter how much you probe, to miss the action. Okay, so that would be terrible. Okay, that would make the distribution.
What are XY?
Sorry?
What are XY?
XY are the two valuations. So this is X and this is Y, and these are the valuations of let's say between 0 and 1 million. Okay, of the two bidders.
Oh, there are two.
So let's because you gave me a two-dimensional board, let's only talk about two bidders. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
But just in the previous discussion of the ironed values, how is that still truthful?
It's still truthful because you don't first of all because this is a function of it's still truthful. It's
I see, because it's a known function, so the auctioneer can.
No. It's a function also of what these people have. So basically they look up now in a table what they should bid, but it's to their advantage to bid truthfully. And also.
Truthfully, but what they It is not their own value.
It's not their own value. No, no. I mean,
What do you mean by truth?
truthfully means the truthful entry of the table that they get.
Okay, but the auctioneer can compute the same table.
No, 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 no. Because you need to have your value. You have
No,
to.
but he can go back and compute the value from their.
Yes, 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 yes. Right. Yeah, yeah. But I mean, no, but the easiest way to present it is as a VCG on the iron valuations. Yeah.
Now I understand.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. But I mean, no, this is what I'm going to do here. Here it's going to be completely different. Actually, I mean, no, I don't know how to get Meyerson's result from this. Okay, so without doing again Meyerson's work. Okay, so from what I'm going to tell you. Okay, so now these assumptions already tell me something very already restrict tremendously the valuations, okay, the solution, okay, because basically what I want is imagine that I decide to give this to bidder one, okay? In other words, you understand what I mean? I mean, no, it's going to be deterministic. So basically, I'm going to say, give me your. So I decide that my is going to be give me your values, okay? This determines a point here, okay? Every point is painted either blue or red, and I'm going to give it either to the blue guy. Let's say this he's the blue guy, or to the red guy. Okay? Now, here's the point. That because I want to be truthful, basically this means the following. That this guy would have no incentive to bid higher. Okay, what does it mean he has no incentive to bid higher? It means that if he gets it here, then he gets it all the way here. Right? It's sort of, it's not trivial, it's very easy to prove. So, it's very classical actually, proved first in Meyerson's paper. And then something else. And then what am I going to charge him? What I'm going to charge him is, of course, if y does not change. Okay, if y changes, then all bets are off. But I mean, what I'm going to charge him, the point is I'm going to charge him the smallest amount by which he would have still gotten it. Because this gives him incentive of not to lie below, because he's protected from below, okay? There's no incentive to lie. So he will tell me the truth, okay, if this is the case. So everybody understands that? That's very crucial, all right? I mean, that once I assume this means, deterministic means that every point is either blue or red, and the ex post individual rational basically means that nobody is going to pay more than his value.
When we assume dependency, so I know my number x.
Yeah, and so I know something about your.
I assume that.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Everybody knows. Yes, right. Yeah. I know how you are. Yeah.
So that means, but for the auctioneer, we are doing simultaneous.
Right.
So that means the auctioneer doesn't know this.
Right. Does not. Yeah. Okay. So basically, what it is saying is that sort of there is such a function. Let's call it alpha of y. Okay, and basically it says that all this I give is going to be blue. Okay, and then there is another function, maybe beta of x. Basically, it says that all this I give to y, to red. And that's sort of that's what it means. I mean, these functions need not even be continuous. They could jump around. They could do very crazy things. I mean, but what I'm saying, for every x, there is a beta of x, so that from then up, you give it to this guy. Is this clear? So that's what I'm going. So basically, what I want to do is I want to create these two functions. Okay, that's what the optimal design problem is from now on.
So why is there a gap between the red and the blue?
There could be a gap. Okay, so very excellent question. Okay, so why would anybody in their right mind, especially since, all right, why would in their right mind somebody want to leave this out? Say, if this is, then I'll keep it, and burn it, okay? That sounds so self-defeating, right?
What happens in those?
Nobody gets it.
Well, nobody gets it.
Nobody gets it. And it's of no value to me, okay? So I burn it. I throw it away.
You're allowed to not sell it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Myton also had the same thing. You are allowed.
Yes, yeah. No. But Meyerson had it. In Meyerson's case, this does not arise too much because it was a value. He had a reserve price, and that's only because he assumed that the auctioneer may have value. So
even if auction have zero value, so let's say even with 0 uniform, Meyerson would put value reserve price of half. And
that's right. Yes, right. Yeah. Okay. Right. Yeah. You're right. Yes. So basically, in Meyerson's case, this would look sort of there would be a white square here. There would be a white square, but here you can have everything goes. You can have anything. Let me explain to you why. Okay. Imagine that I'm thinking of sort of to whom should I give it? Should I give this to red or to white? Okay. And then I think the following. Imagine that my temptation is to let's say tentatively give it to red, to blue. All right? And imagine that this is the lowest point at which I'd give it to blue. Okay? How much am I getting out of this decision of deciding that alpha of y is this? Okay? If you think about it, what I'm getting is x times alpha of y to 1, p of xy, dx, the p of x prime y, dx prime dy. No, dx prime. Do that make sense? Basically, sort of in divided, normalizing by dy, the amount of, the decision, because I'm going to get x, the amount here, for everything that is bigger than x, for all the mass that is bigger than x.
You mean this is if you move alpha of y to equal x?
Right. If alpha y equals x, right, yeah. Right. So I should say x from x to 1. Okay. But the point is, okay, that maybe there is so little population here, this is so sparsely populated, that by deciding to give it to somebody, I'm lowering the amount I'm going to get so much that it's not worth to me. Mathematically, what you want to do is you want to have, exactly. So what you are, by deciding to tentatively give this to blue, you are getting maximum over all x prime greater than x of x prime times integral from x prime up to 1 of p of x double prime y dx double prime. Okay, because it might be, so this is, if you think about it, this is a function that goes sort of like this, okay? Since it's max for all these, it's increasing and then it becomes constant for some time, constant, okay? It's a function like that. Where the other function, sort of, if you don't take the max, is if this function, as a function of x prime, is something like this, okay? It dips below, okay? So this is what I'm getting by tentatively deciding when y is y to give to make alpha y equals to x, okay?
Is that what you get when you choose x?
When
you choose the maximizing x prime as your alpha y?
Right, but but I don't know what x prime is. So the point is that at this point, that's what I am getting. If I decide to give this point to blue, potentially.
Aren't you getting just x times just this function of x? And
No, because then I may do a sort of, I may think about it better and do an optimization. Why do I need to do this? Okay, so I'm going to choose the best. Okay, that's my point. Yeah. Okay.
Is this the same as the guy at the auctioneer thinking he's selling the thing off too cheap?
He's selling the thing off too cheap, and sort of and without the benefit of a big mass here. Yes, that's the intuitively that's what it means.
So
I mean, maybe you want to sell it too cheap if all the action happens there. Okay, so you don't mind if there are some freaks who like it a lot. You want sort of to get the big mass which is around the 500,000 mark. Okay, even though there are some people sort of which are going to underpay, that's fine. So you may, but there are very few sparsely populated. Maybe you want sort of but if there is nothing there, you don't want to do it.
is the aim of the auction to maximise as much the bid?
It's to maximize what you get in the end, in expectation.
So that's forcing them to bid up.
Right, exactly, yeah. So what's my point? My ultimate point is that if you take the derivative of this or that, this is essentially, and you get something like this, okay? Okay, these are 0 here, okay, where these are horizontal. Okay, this is. This is sort of per dx dy, how much it's worth it to you to give tentatively this point to blue. Okay, and let's call this f of xy. This is basically what you get. It's a two-dimensional function, that tells you sort of what do you get per unit here. Okay, so in other words, what I'm saying is that your expected income from blue is going to be y equals from 0 to 1, x from alpha of y up to 1 of f of xy dx dy. This is what the auctioneer is going to get from blue, okay?
Questions. One, why isn't the derivative negative?
yeah, it's a minus.
It is, so it's sorry?
There's a minus sign.
There is, right, so it's always positive. You're right, yes. So it's always positive because sorry, there's a minus sign, yes, right, yeah.
So the
It should be negative, yes.
Does
The
the
minus is
auctioneer,
on the outside.
On the outside. Okay, right, you're right, yeah.
does the auctioneer get, didn't you say that it gets the second highest
No,
price?
no, I mean, no, so in all this literature, this comes out as a corollary. Okay, so the auctioneer, the auctioneer now is going to say, give me your valuations, and this is, so, I mean, in VCG, the protocol is, give me your valuations, and the winner is going to pay the second highest, okay? Here is a completely different protocol, which also has the property of compelling them to tell the truth. But it's a completely different protocol.
And so this is what you define to be what the auctioneer gets.
I'm going to define that. Yes, I mean, yes. So remember, my goal is to fathom the optimum auction. Okay, so I have to find this objective. Okay, so this is one part of the objective, and there is a similar for the second. There is a gxy defined exactly for the red player, dy dx, and you add those. And of course, what you want to do is you want to find the soup of this, okay, subject to alpha and beta disjoint. In other words, you don't want the red and the blue things to intersect. Okay, that's all there is to it. Is this clear? Okay, so that's it. So this is the problem I want to solve. Okay, and of course there is a similar, completely analogous for 3 bidders, 4 bidders, 5 bidders, for any number of bidders. Okay, so except that the integrals get much crammed. Okay. All right, now, I have done nothing except defining the problem so far, okay? So, what makes me think that I can solve this problem, okay? So so because I have, so here comes now sort of, the result. And it's, so what's the idea? The idea is the following, that I have this unit square. I'm looking at a different problem with two functions, the function f and the function g. So, I'm trying sort of, to make you visualize a two-dimensional landscape, okay? Two-dimensional landscapes, a blue one and a red one, okay? That coexist in the same. So these are the two functions f and g. And the point is, so here is the idea. Imagine that this is your garden, okay? You have like a Japanese garden. And the blue function f is what you have, the Japanese garden as it is today. And the g function is the Japanese garden as you want it to be. Okay, so you had a vision one morning. I want to get done of this garden. I want this new garden. All right, so which is G. So everybody with me? And basically, you want to transform this into that. Okay, this sounds a little like Mons Kantorovich. Okay, but it's not. So it's easier. There's a twist. So you want to transform f into g. And this, how do you transform f into g? You have three three operations that you are allowed. One is track, how do you call it? Throw, how do you call it? Haul mass away. So you take some of the blue mass and you haul it out. The second part thing is haul in mass. So you go to a quarry and you haul in red mass and you put it where the red thing should be. Plus, you have a third option which sort of saves a lot. I mean, you could in principle do it with all these two operations, but there is a third option which is going to save you a lot of hauling, and this is haul mass in the garden only in the southeast direction. So you take a grain of blue sand, okay, and you decide where you are going to put it. You can put it here, for example, but this should be in the southeast direction. Do that make sense? And basically what you want is to minimize, you want to find infimum overall, let's call them hauling schedules, of these things, of the things that are hauled in, plus hauled out, plus hauled southeast. And I guess you guessed it, these two are the same. Okay, so that's a duality theorem. And this makes it tractable and computable and all that. Does that make sense?
Well, in that infimum over hold in, doesn't it assume there's an f which you're actually trying to find? Oh no, you're trying
No, F is given. F and G are given. Okay, so you are given these two Hill configurations. Okay, and you want to transform one into the other. You don't. Distance does not matter. Okay, the only thing that matters is how much mass you hold. Okay, so how many tracks do you need in total to do this? Okay, and so I can give you quickly sort of what's the conclusion from this. There is, and I can then sketch you how the proof. Once I sketch the proof, you say, okay, yeah, it will make sense to you. Okay, so what is so that's the main theorem.
For F equals G,
Yeah.
then what is, just to understand it,
But it should be 0, right?
what?
It should be 0.
Bottom is 0, but why is the top?
Why was the top 0? What am I talking about? What am I saying here? I don't know how to. I'm confused now. I don't know how to answer this question. Okay, so maybe what I obviously what I wrote is not right. Sorry.
With the join it kicks in.
Yeah, but still, so you want to, if f equals g, then you can do anything you want. You can give all of it to, you give nothing to.
Don't hold anything.
Yeah, you don't have to hold anything. So it could be that a constant is missing here. Okay, which I don't see. Okay, so which right now I don't see. But I'll basically give you the proof. So for the. And you'll see what's going on. Okay, so now I'm confused. So it could be that yeah. So instead of speculating, sort of online, I'll tell you quickly the corollaries and then tell you the proof. So sketch the proof. So the corollary is the following: that you can compute the optimal auction for 2 bidders 2 ways. Either exactly if you have how do you call it? If you have discrete if P is discrete. So there is an incongruity between my assumption that P is always non-zero and P discrete, okay, but sort of never mind that, or F pitas if P is continuous, is lambda continuous. So there is an F pitas. There you can approximate it arbitrarily closely if it's continuous. Another proposition to complement this is that it's NP hard for 3 bidders. Okay, and in fact for n bidders it is next hard. So there is an old and there is a half approximation that's due to Amir Ronen, 2000. You can approximate it by half for any number of bidders, even though for small numbers of bidders, this approach gives you a better approximation. So let me now give 10 minutes worth of the idea. Okay, so and then we'll see how to fix this. Okay. So the idea is the following. All right, so imagine, again, forgetting for a moment what I told you that P is positive and all that, okay? That your only masses are in a few points in these 6 points, let's say. Okay, let's say 1/6 on each. All the probability masses, sorry, all the, yeah, P. So you can still compute F and G. Okay, so that's fine. And I want this to be in the same, yeah, maybe not, okay. I want this to be, okay, cool. Now, basically what you want, what this tells you, is the following. Now, what you want to do is you want to connect each one of these points either with this or with that. Okay, that's your dilemma. Okay? And you want to connect these either up or down. The same thing here, this either right or up, okay? And the point is that you have computed your f's, so every one of these sticks, if you wish, has a weight, which is the weight it's going to bring to my final calculation, okay? So all these sticks has a weight, okay? So this is the weight, the G weight of this stick. This is the weight of that stick, okay? So every stick has a weight. And what's your only constraint? That two sticks should not intersect. Okay? Because if two sticks intersect, okay, you are in trouble. This means that your A and B regions sort of are not disjoint. Okay? Make sense? All right. So this, if you think about it, is a maximum weight independent set for a bipartite graph. You have a bipartite graph. The bipartite graph of the two sticks. The red sticks are one color, the boys. The blue sticks are the girls. Each boy and girl has a weight. And you want to find an independent set, maximum weight independent set in this bipartite graph. Okay? And the point is that this has as dual max flow. Mean cost, max flow. Mean cost flow. Okay? And late last night I decided that the mean cost flow sort of, but there is a mean cost flow problem you can write sort of explicitly, and that's what this is what okay. There is actually a mean cost flow you can write with integrals, okay, and obviously my interpretation has a bug, okay. So my garden interpretation has a bug, okay. Do that make sense now? Okay.
What are the nodes of a bipartite graph?
Excuse me?
What What are the nodes of the bipartite?
The nodes of the bipartite graph are the sticks.
Those are the what?
The sticks, these red and blue sticks. Okay? Sorry?
And it is a conflict graph.
And the conflict graph says that I should not, so the red nodes are the girls, the blue nodes are the boys, and this girl, you know, if they intersect, this means that there is an edge between these two, okay? And this means that it's a conflict graph. I mean, you cannot take both. That's why you want an independent set. Okay, you want, make sense? And okay, now, what this part NP hard for 3 bidders means? It means the following intuitively. So this says, okay, there is one little detail which sort of proves that in this rare instance, God of mathematics was on our side. Okay, so there is sort of an interesting detail. Okay, that this is the incremental cost, the incremental weight. So the point is that if you take this, you should also take this for the accounting to be correct. Okay, because these happen to be on the same horizontal line. So if you take this, it's only the incremental cost, and you should also take this. But optimality gives this to you immediately, and the reason is that, so that's a little lemma that says that since this is a subset of this, a subinterval of this, it intersects fewer red. Okay? So there is no reason why not, if you throw this in, there is no reason why not also throw this in at optimality. All weights are positive, so there is no reason to omit this. Okay, so modulo this. Okay, it's exactly the independent set problem for bipartite graphs, and then you have the dual, and then you have an algorithm. Okay, so and the algorithm sort of both of these algorithms are sort of immediate. I mean, to prove this theorem, basically what you do is you go to a discrete. This has an exact dual. And then you go here. Okay? And basically you have to argue that these two are equal. You have to argue that these are equal plus or minus lambda epsilon, where epsilon is the grid, and also plus or minus lambda. So these are equal plus or minus lambda epsilon. And after that, so you take the limit as epsilon goes to 0, yeah. So when I was here last time, I asked James, how should I I want to prove this theorem. How should I prove it? And he told me you should read about the Banach theorem, which is exactly right on the money. So it's duality for infinite dimensional spaces. So I told him, every time I ask you a question, James, I pray that the word Banach is not connected, is not contained the answer. Yes. Right. Okay. So that, yeah, is there, I believe that's it, yeah, so.
So your dual, is that a sort of, that'll be a min cost maximum matching or something, will it?
Min cost, So it's sort of a maximum matching. So here's what it is. It's a weighted maximum matching. Okay, so basically minimum cost. Yeah, but it's right. I mean, maximum. So it means the following: that you should put weights on the edges. Okay, so that for every node, the sum of the weights on this edge should be at least as big as the node. So it's a strange kind of max flow if you subtract a constant. So that's where I'm losing this, I guess. So that's.
I'm just thinking, like, if all the costs were 1, this would be sort of Koenig's theorem, right?
Yes.
So I mean, but then it looks like a very special bipartite graph.
It,
So maybe you've got some sort of greedy algorithm. But
yes, I mean, there is actually. I thought about that. Good point. There is actually literature about something called convex graphs. Yeah. So I mean, I try to remember. So if they. I try to remember if this is relevant, so but I haven't gotten to it yet. Yeah.
Last night you did this one.
Really?
How was this? You did this last night.
Yeah. So
and if you go for 3, do you get a 3-dimensional matching?
you get so basically what this MP hardness result says is that if you try, if you want to find a maximum weighted independent set in where the nodes are 3-dimensional ortho segments, and the intersection is basically the intersection graph of these. So a maximum weighted matching in the intersection graph of 3-dimensional ortho segments. Ortho meaning either parallel to the x-axis or the y-axis or the z-axis. But that's a big hard problem. So that's one of these. Difficult proofs, at least the way it is now. So for more than 3, you can't do it. So there is. When I interpret this as, I think that's an accurate interpretation modulo a constant. Okay, so I should rethink it. I mean, what it is. Thanks for pointing it out. Yeah.
So how do you prove that this is a truthful auction?
Okay, it's a truthful auction only because I'm seeking regions, so the blue region is close to the right, and the red region is closed upwards. If that's the only thing that, that's a theorem due to Meyerson 30 years ago, that this is all you need in order to have a truthful auction. So, this means, if you think about it, that this bidder is not tempted to bid low, and is not tempted to bid high. So he might as well tell the truth. He's not tempted to bid low because he's protected from below. Okay, so he's only going to, if he bids low, either he's going to lose it, which is terrible, or he's going to fall within this region, which he will pay the same thing. So he's not going to gain anything. And if he bids too high, he's not going to, he's still, if he's, bidding too high actually is risky because what if he gets it? I mean, and then has to pay such a price. So if the regions are like that, then and precisely then, that's Meyerson's theorem. You are guaranteed to be truthful. Okay. So we started from that, and this gave us this geometric way of looking at things, and this gave us the rest.
So it's assumed then that everybody knows P of xy.
It assumes that P of xy is public knowledge, is common knowledge.
Public
Yeah.
knowledge.
Yeah.
So,
It's not.
yeah. So how do
What people?
what's the sort of idea to overcome this? Because it seems like you need to know norm. I mean, even x know what it's worth to x, right? So
Right. Yeah. How do the economists deal with that?
Why P of xy needed to become?
Sorry.
Why is it needed to become? If it's truthful, it need not be common. All it's saying that the auctioneer has a model of Pxy, and he's charging according to these curves. It could be suboptimal. For truthfulness, it doesn't require common.
I see. Just one sec. Yes. Okay. No. Truthfulness does not require common knowledge. You're right. So yes. Okay. Kamal is saying that you did not bid common knowledge. It did only need to be known to the auctioneer, and I think that's right. Yeah, so it makes perfect sense. Yeah.
Okay, so like the auctioneer is like a third bidder here, right? In the sense that if the bids come out from X and Y too small, he won't sell.
No, he might still want to sell.
Even if he gets into the nether region.
No. So if if he has a value to the to the item, then of course yes. Then there should be some kind of.
So in that reasoning, what does he do? I may know you're repeating the talk, but if you're in this middle region, he may or may not sell.
No, he will not sell.
He will not sell.
He will not sell because he's bound by contract to follow this.
Will not sell even if the value to him is zero.
Yeah, he will not sell even though he might get something, and he will not even sell in deep discount even though his value to him is zero, because it's this binding contract that makes him able to extract this much value. Okay, so he doesn't want to play with that. It's the threat of not selling that makes bidders sort of behave well. It's the threat of burning the item. So
Because you can then try and sell it on Priceline.
All right.
Okay.